is up, Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, moon, and Venus signs? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards here. These are general messages, guys, so not everything I say will resonate with every single one of you out there. Know that in advance. Come in with an open heart, an open mind, realistic expectations, and release what does not serve you, whatever doesn't resonate. Have faith it's going out to someone out there, even if it is not you. You're accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's try and have some fun and read some tarot for Scorpio. So let's just kind of go around and see what's coming up here. These are just going to be kind of general messages this week. So I'm going to split the deck and go around the wheel, see what's coming in different areas of your life. Starting off with the Eight of Swords. Ouch. I'll help you, though. I'm not here to just give you problems. Let's find some solutions. All right, so yeah, you have a lot of energy and action, or I'm going to say potential for such in areas of your life regarding travel and higher education right now. Mars just went into Cancer, so for my Scorpio risings in what we call whole sign astrology, your ninth house, which dictates matters and issues related to your long distance travel or higher mind, almost travel within your mind. So education, even sort of diving into different philosophies, worldviews, things of that sort, travels, foreigners. You have the planet Mars of action and energy there. And you also have the Queen of Wands showing up in tarot. So she's my fire queen. She's my action queen. Double Aries energy, if you want to look at it that way. Mars representing, or I shouldn't say representing, but Mars sharing many similarities with Aries. It is the planet that rules over Aries. And then she's my Aries queen. She is the cardinal fire sign in the tarot deck. So the initiator, the start. So I would even go as far to say there's a little bit of spark of magic right now in specifically long-term travel plans. And like any planet or zodiac sign, there's a lot of duality there, right? So Mars can be action and pioneering spirit and adventurous spirit. But with that, there can also be sort of a temperamental nature, the plowing ahead despite the people who may stand in your way. What's interesting is Mars is in the zodiac sign of Cancer right now, so Cancer being the ruler of your ninth house. Mars doesn't love to be in Cancer. It's it's like trying to run through the ocean, for lack of a better term, or a better metaphor, rather. So yeah, a lot of action and endurance, but in a way, I'm sort of wanting to shout out to my Scorpio risings that there's an absolute desire and need and ability, potential for you to get ahead in that area of life, or just get a lot of plans in place and being put into action, get the wheels in motion for something. But there's also an importance of understanding when you need to go with the flow, when maybe it's the best time to release control, because otherwise it's like you're setting yourself up for a lot of obstacles and opposition if you don't sort of take into account intuitively what's around you. Very Cancerian energy. Again, trying to run through the giant ocean wave, or however you want to say it. There's that force that's pulling you back. It's gravity, it's opposition, and it's not at all to put a cloud over plans, but if anything, it's sort of saying to me, you need to understand that you will get ahead and you will see action and growth and gain in this area in the coming weeks. But it's going to require you to be a little bit flexible, is sort of how I would say it. Especially wearing sort of a creative hat right now. Something in that area of life could pan out. Maybe you're traveling for some sort of creative collaboration or project, or even like a spiritual retreat or a spiritual getaway. For some of you, if that makes sense. And for some of you, it's just, vacation, going to the beach and chilling. The Queen of Wands loves to be on display. She's very much sort of my entertainment queen, even if it's not acting, singing, and dancing. It's like when she enters a room, people notice. So that's what you got going on. If any of you are enrolling in classes or courses, I would say you are going to be a very big presence in that classroom setting, even if it's online courses, right? If you are at all in an environment, even let's say social media, where you are chatting and interacting with peers or students or whatever, it's like you are a powerful presence. And I mean, you are anyway, Scorpio risings, right? So, all right, let's expand. So, my Scorpio risings have this, what's known as a stellium in Taurus right now. So a lot of planets, a lot of energy. A stellium refers to 3 or more planets in one zodiac sign or house. So you have it in both. You have it in Taurus and your 7th house of long-term committed partnership. So with the sun there, that brings a highlight, an energy. It's almost like shining a light on one area of your life. So long-term partnerships are coming into the forefront of your life right now. And it could be making them more committed. You have, in terms of tarot cards showing up here, you have the Six of Swords. So That talks about stride and movement forward. I'm literally wanting to like do this with the little boat. It's so funny. Something about this reminds me of like the Venice canals. So I don't know. I'm literally like wanting to row a boat. So that could be a lot of things. But especially if it has to do with long distance travel, I'm not suggesting you're doing it by boat. The some of you maybe. I should never assume. I almost think that may be a vacation or a destination, something about Italy. I know that's only for a select few of you, but something about that just like it's synced up. And that area of your life of partnerships and travel are sextiling right now. So traveling with a peer or with a spouse is absolutely full of potential right now. So anyway, you also have Mercury there, so that rules your mind, your thoughts, your ability to express yourself, even things about writing and technology. That's going to be zooming into Gemini in the next week or so. But yeah, right now it seems like you're moving ahead. There's positive strides forward. If at one point you were feeling a little bit confused or stuck about something, typically the Six of Swords is a great card. We love sixes in tarot. They're about victory. They're about winning. They're about progress being made. What's really interesting, I've read this a lot, and I think sometimes we sort of, or I shouldn't say we, I sometimes sort of don't highlight the meaning of this card when I explain it always, is a lot of times there can be almost a metaphoric death about this, and I don't necessarily mean in terms of ending of one's life. You know, in tarot, when we get the death card, a lot of people get excited because A, it's the Scorpio card, but B, also it talks about transitions of cycles, a release and then a rebirth. That's sort of what this card has in mind too, especially in a mental sector, though it is not a 10, because it follows the Five of Swords. Fives are agents of change and chaos and sort of feeling stifled or stuck. The Five of Swords has a lot of negative connotations too, you know, kind of like backstabbers or every man for himself. Here, there's an ending put to that. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. There's been a death of confusion. And again, I really like the Six of Swords, but it's like I can move forward and not worry about all that stuff anymore. So for some of you, because it's coming up in long-term partnerships, that could go two different ways, couldn't it? For some of you, you may be putting an end to a long-distance partnership where it just felt like you were lost in the thick of it, and almost like I'm almost getting like struggling to find your voice. With Taurus, it may have felt like there was a silencing or a pushy, manipulative, and it could be your something with a coworker or a boss, any long-term relationship. It felt like you sort of got lost in the shuffle or lost your sense of self. With the sun there, lost your sense of identity. Now it feels like you're up and moving again. Maybe Mars Mars in Cancer, because Cancer is a water sign and that tends to work fairly harmoniously with any major Scorpio placements, Scorpio rising. That transition of Mars into Cancer and into your ninth house, something about that may be positively impacting your ability to move forward with something that was stuck for quite a long time. I actually really like that. So yeah, and for some of you, it certainly could manifest in a way where if you've been dating someone for a long time, potentially an Aries, you may end up seeing forward movement in terms of establishing some sort of traditional partnership, some sort of, I'm hearing the word compatibility, but it's more than that. Like let's lock it in, that kind of thing. Like, are you my person? Yes, let's move forward with this. So that could even possibly, okay, for a lot of you, it may even have to do with finding a new house. Starting new in a new environment, a new residence, a new place of work, right? If it's in terms of business contracts or business partnerships. But yeah, there's it's so funny. When I picked this card up, I heard Lucky Strike, which is that, okay, so I'm going to sound like a weirdo because I actually don't know this, but something about that reminded me of candy cigarettes. I don't think that's like a real brand of, I don't know, I'm not a smoker, and I'm not judging anybody who is, but something about Lucky Strike, I'm sure that's a reference to multiple things that I'm not even aware of, but isn't there candy cigarettes called Lucky Strikes? I don't know. Maybe some of you are quitting smoking. Maybe you're having forward progress on that. Whatever. But what I got from that, because it's falling in your fourth house of like your home, your foundation, your past, your roots, your ancestry, there's a spark of magic there. You could just be connecting with a family member that means a lot to you, particularly a fire sign family member. Or again, there's such an element of magic. I know it sounds kind of silly to say, but there's like magic and spark and charisma in areas regarding travel and possibly away from the home, but maybe it's to get a new home or to seek new land, new property. There's luck. There's luck there. And again, it's trining where it's not trining where Mars is, but it's gonna be if it's moving in that direction. So your dating life right now is what's being trined by this planet of sex. Mars can also be assertiveness, aggression, but it can also manifest in a way that's kind of like sex, right? So again, a card of Aries. Aries is featured very prominently here in your tarot cards right now. I feel like I didn't finish my thought on that, but something about the business partnership and land ownership, or again, merging properties, merging spaces, homes, something about that could potentially come into fruition in the future. There may be a little bit of aggravation or tension getting to that point, but again, I think eventually it's going to be clear sailing. So yes, dating. Let's move that to that sector of your life. Okay. So Jupiter is going to be entering Pisces soon. I have it written down on my calendar somewhere. Can I read it from here? Jupiter is entering Pisces around the 13th, roughly, give or take a day, depending on where you are in the world. So there's going to be, wherever Jupiter goes in the sky, there is expansion. Whatever it touches, it expands. Generally speaking, Jupiter is a planet of luck and blessings and good fortune. It's sometimes related to children, kind of like this buoyancy, this lighthearted energy. The sort of negative manifestation of Jupiter would be overdoing it, not being decisive enough, just like I want everything, sort of extremism. So again, depending on where you're at, if you're a sex addict, that might not be great for you. Well, actually, it might be really great for you, but maybe not the healthiest. Anyway, Jupiter is entering your house of dating, of sex, of romance, of leisure, of pleasure, things of that sort. Creative energy. So if you're at all a creative, you're going to experience a lot more of that with Jupiter moving through this house. And in terms of the tarot card showing up here, you have Aries. So especially if you work in a creative career, some of you, again, this kind of Mars-esque Aries energy, you could have a very bountiful sex life in the coming weeks, if that's something you're interested in. Aries is all about... well, it's funny. The first word I was going to say is control. Yes, control. It's about foundation. We have to remember it's a 4. So I think I tell you guys this all the time. I always think of the 4 corners of the house. Even his chair, like the 4 corners of this very heavy, solid throne he sits upon. It's the foundation from which you build a future. And I actually kind of love that, because for my Scorpio risings who are single or somewhere in between, maybe you're like the it's complicated thing, this potentially says that there may be someone coming in who offers you a lot of solidarity, a lot of stability, a lot of kind of grounded energy, but in a way that maybe still allows you to be creative and dreamy, and someone who grants you your freedom and doesn't necessarily try to control it. I mean, that's something to be cognizant of when this card comes up. But because your 5th house is ruled by Pisces, there's a need to sort of be the little fish that swims free, that enjoys life, that kind of... interesting. And again, with the water and fire dynamics, how I was talking about travel and sort of running through the ocean waves, you kind of have to know when to let the ocean sort of take over and just kind of go with the flow. That's the exact same message I'm getting with your dating life, or possibly your creative pursuits right now. Especially if you are, I don't know why this is coming through, but especially if you're a person who's incredibly, I'm trying to think of the right connotation of this. Competitive. I don't mean in like a drag out cutthroat way, but if you are someone who has a very competitive spirit, that may suit you as long as you understand, again, there's a time and place for how intense, Scorpio, or how controlling you are in that endeavor, whatever it is. Sometimes there's, I mean, like in anything in life, there's a need for balance here. Go in confident, go in headstrong, go in knowing what you want. But with a mutable water sign, Pisces controlling your 5th house, there's a need to be like, okay, maybe I'll adjust accordingly, right? And I actually think this is very positive. I'm going to say it. I know people hate it when you tell them this about their dating life, but that person that you so desperately think checks all the boxes, some of you may come to find out that there may be something different about them that you didn't anticipate or expect, and it's not always bad. But so there's that piece to it. Here's where I'm going with. It's always so controversial. There is a need for you to be flexible in your list of qualities in a mate. Just because it's not at the top of your list doesn't mean it's actually not very good for you in the long run. You may be very attracted to people who are very creative, very artistic, very spiritual, very I'm almost wanting to say, let's not make what is a good word for it? It's people who lack precision. Like, let's be loosey-goosey, let's go with the flow. However, with this showing up, it's like, well, we need to have some sense and some order, especially for my Scorpios who do want long-term commitment. And maybe you don't, that's fine. But those looking for long-term partnership, your Piscean influence of dating could be compatible with what you need in long-term partnership, but you view that through a more Taurian lens, a lens of Taurus, which is about stability and order and maintaining. And I'll be honest, right? Like, Taurus is an amazing sign and has so many wonderful qualities, but a lot of times people write Taurus off as they're just a little bit dull. They're just a little bit boring. But do you understand how that may actually serve you in relationships if you're going after people who are just kind of like these free-loving, free-floating artistic types? It's like, well, where's the solidarity there? I feel like you're being reminded of that. And I'm by no means throwing any zodiac sign under the bus. I love my Tauruses. I think they're great people. But they understand the importance of sort of seeing something through to fruition. They're not really the type to rush. They're going to dig their feet in the earth and make sure it's done properly. They're not so concerned about the timeline. It's about the end results and the end product, but they want to make sure it succeeds, and so they're willing to devote years to it. So maybe some of you, that sounds like a really highly desirable quality in a mate. Maybe to others of you it doesn't. But I guess I'm mentioning that just to get you to consider why. What is your desire in a mate at this point? And is it actually compatible with who you are and what you desire in a mate, and vice versa, right? If you're always chasing people who maybe desire X, Y, and Z in you, but you come to realize, oh, that's not really who I am. And with the Emperor, he knows who he is. He's not the most flexible of the major arcana, right? But I would say he's gotten to this point of having a lot of confidence because he's been afraid to try some things and fail and then go back to the drawing board and understand, okay, if I want success in this area of my life, this is how I'm going to do it. And Aries, right? The ram, button your head through the door. It takes a confidence and a strong-headedness to succeed, right? So I admire this card for that reason. But again, there's something about this temperance of being very headstrong and powerful and confident, but also the ability to know when to release control and sort of almost surrender to the divine. Have faith that the universe is throwing you people in your path that maybe it is for your best and highest good. Maybe so, and I'm not necessarily getting anything about the past here yet, but someone you may have written off as, oh, they're just, they're not as fun, they're not as exciting. Maybe they're exactly what you need, right? And I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm not saying that you're wrong or that you've been doing everything all wrong. Please don't misinterpret it. Just, I don't know, there's a sort of a need to understand what it is that you're desiring as you're moving forward. You actually have a lot of success, but I feel like what's sort of between your dating house and long-term partnerships is this card. So I do think there's I'm getting the word assessment, which I don't usually get with the twos. That's something I associate more with the sevens in tarot. I don't know, there's something here about what do I make room for in my life and where am I full up? Where am I extending too much energy into one person and maybe not enough in myself? Or vice versa, where am I too, don't shoot the messenger, but where am I too self-consumed where maybe I'm lacking sort of the higher perspective of what's good for a partner? What fits in your life, quite literally? Are you juggling too much? And even in the Two of Pentacles here, I always notice sort of the swell of waves and the swell of emotion, which can indicate heavy emotions, which we've already discussed because you have fire energy in those houses right now. Swells of emotions may come and go, but it's ultimately about how you deal with those. Maybe not resisting that swell of emotion would be a great cathartic release for some of you guys, right? Maybe learning to practice better emotional intelligence when you get those swells of emotions rather than being very diehard and cutthroat about, however you're trying to steamroll ahead. Yeah, there's something about important decisions in how you're approaching relationships in the future, and this is neither good nor bad, it just simply is. What decisions are you making? And I'm always wanting to say, who or what are you juggling? And it doesn't have to be people, by no means. It could be trying to balance your work life and your dating life. It's just, this to me is highlighting, what are you making room for in your life? And I do want to say, where are you possibly overextending yourself? And the last part of this too is we notice those pentacles are sort of in this loop of the infinity symbol. So where is there this never-ending struggle or battle or, high vibe? Where is this never-ending storyline, narrative? where you are seeking change and results, but maybe you're so in it that you've lost perspective again. Something about not being able to see the forest from the trees. It's like, well, I've always done it this way. This is normal. This works for me. Not to say it doesn't, but if you are looking to incite something new, again, start up, cardinal, ignition, was that the word? Initiate. I was going to say ignitionate. Sure. Initiate new relationships or a new way of dating. What needs to be released in this process to make room? And look at that. Once you get some sort of clarity or epiphany about something, it's off to the races. It's smooth sailing. I love this metaphor, you guys. Tarot is amazing. It blows my mind every time I do readings. This whole metaphor of trying to, I know this is a stupid metaphor, I acknowledge this, but the idea of like trying to run into the ocean, you get exhausted very quickly because you're getting that, what is the good word for it? You're getting that resistance, right? Trying to plow through water. Do you know what's an excellent way to plow through water? When you're on a damn boat, when you change it up, right? You're still doing the same thing. You're still trying to gain traction and distance and travel or, moving up in the world in your dating life, in your career. But you've solved the solution because something wasn't working before. You were, again, stuck in a place where you were indecisive or something of the sort. So rather than trying to run through the waves, you're like, maybe I'll get on a boat. I'll do it faster. I can conquer that opposition faster. There's something about creative solutions. Creativity is very important for you right now. There's a dreaminess right now too, possibly about the way you're approaching your dating life, which is, again, neither good nor bad. It's all about what you do with that energy and how you manifest it. So last but not least, we will talk about, I do want to touch on this really quick because it seems important. So coming up in your first house, which is all about sort of the way you present yourself to the world, your identity, your ego, who you are. Again, these are weekly tarot readings, so this is very likely temporary, but there's a fearfulness or locking yourself away, saving yourself for something or someone, but have you outgrown this role? Again, where do you tell yourself, oh, well, I have to do this because I'm responsible for it, or it's always been done this way? But by having that, again, mentality, swords, where is it becoming your mental prison? Where are you shutting yourself off from other opportunities or ideas? All right, and last but not least, let's talk about your money house. There is transition coming into having a new perspective on yourself. The Wheel of Fortune is sort of making its way into from your 12th house to your first house, and I'm reading this via tarot cards, right? This is not planetary activity per se, but it does represent Jupiter. So again, significant impacts with Jupiter in your life in the coming weeks. There's expansion, there's travel, but also there's a buoyancy, I'm hearing the word like fortuitous. There's luck. I would even say taking some sort of risk out of the comfort zone, trying something you've never tried before. Okay, money. Sorry, I know I keep saying I'm going to do that. So you need to commit with the Hierophant, commit in possibly a more traditional way about what you're doing with your money or how you're spending your money. Some of you quite literally are going to be spending money on a wedding or some sort of, again, something, I heard scholarly, but something like investing in your education or teaching or, again, courses. Frequently the Hierophant is like a teacher, something to do with faith or spirituality you may be spending your money on. And again, a card of Taurus, that's definitely wanting to be seen and heard right now too. Taurus is a fixed zodiac sign, so in a lower vibration we'll say, sure, they're stubborn, they're headstrong. In a high vibration, they're maintainers, they're incredibly committed, they are, what's another good word for it? Reliable, they're practical. Again, it's not so much about speed, which again, second house ruled by Sagittarius. Sagittarius is like action, they like speed, right? They're sort of the Casanovas, the players romantically, so put that in terms of money, they just may be like, I want all this, like I'm going to spend all this money, or the opposite, acquiring lots of money. But Sagittarius, even when they acquire money, it's not like this, I'm going to be so precious. It's more, I'm going to spend it on experiences. That's very Sagittarian in nature. So something about this, I really, as boring as this message is, this to me talks about saving money. Putting it in some sort of traditional, even investment plan, or putting it towards your education, putting it towards something very practical that can last you into the future. Putting it into good, sturdy technology rather than just buying, the POS that you can get on Amazon that's going to break in 2 weeks, right? It's something about establishing longevity. It has roots. It has history. There may be important decisions to make in your daily work-life balance, your work routine, where you need to let something go because you might be exhausting yourself right now. Yeah, in fact, you have Chiron sitting in your 6th house, which is sort of metaphoric of like the wounded warrior. And I never mean to offend, but I am going to pose this question. Where are you not being good to yourself? And I'm almost wanting to say, where can you take full ownership and accountability for not putting yourself first? Our 6th house has a lot to do with the services we provide to others, but where are you spreading yourself too thin? Where are you burning out too quickly because you took on way too much responsibility? There's a part of you with Aries ruling your 6th house that's like, I want to do it all myself. It's me. It's all this Aries energy. It's running crazy. And you guys are equally ruled by Mars. Both Scorpio and Aries have a very tight connection to Mars. You may be overdoing it and overpowering and going to extremes in your, again, kind of your house of service, what you're providing. But either you're falling out of love with it or you've realized you've taken on too much, so maybe you need to delegate. That's sort of what's coming up there, so that you don't become the wounded warrior, so that you don't sacrifice your health, your mind, body, spirit, your physical body health. For what reason? I mean, is there ever a good reason to sacrifice that? I'm honestly not sure. You tell me. And last but not least, coming up in your 10th house, you have Sagittarius, first and foremost. Taurus and Sagittarius may be key collaborators for you in the future. It doesn't have to be. This is all about temperance and balance, very much related to this. Yeah, these cards feel like they're related. I love that, which I know means nothing to you, but there's just like an energy. These stories are very much connected. Not Sagittarius. Temperance is about balance. It's about moderation. It is a card of health and healing and wellness. So for those pursuing a career and something to do with that, even angel work, light work, if you consider yourself a light worker or working in sort of, again, astrology, esoteric, philosophical type things too. There's a strong connection to religion, to travel, to foreigners, different languages, and with Sagittarian energy, always being curious. Sorry for all the motorcycles. That feels Sagittarius too. That feels very Knight of Wands, just jumping on my bike and going for a ride. But all this has to do with sort of future prospects for what you're looking to usher into your life. And quite literally, it's like the angels are watching over you in terms of your career. Make sure you're putting your health and your wellness first right now. I just think that's really important for some of you. And yeah, again, balance, moderation, I would say flexibility is a term that kept coming up in your reading. Your public image right now is beautiful. People see you as being very, very kind, very nurturing. Your presence is very compassionate right now. It's very empathic, empathetic, however you want to say it, sympathetic. You may even be passing off credit to other people when credit is actually due to you. Yeah, I almost think that there's a strong message here about your own leadership. And maybe for some of you, this feels like it's time to break off from the pack, break off from the group, and sort of be a strong leader in your own area, especially among friends groups or among large groups of people. Your voice is very important right now. And yeah, don't be afraid to sever ties or cut ties with things that don't support your own emotional health, your own emotional well-being. Again, your mind, body, and spirit. Your health is really coming into focus right now in this reading for me. So, all right, Scorpio. Scorpio rising specifically, but anybody who joined this reading, that's what I got for you. We'll go around real quick and do the zodiac signs. Why not? If you're dating, we'll just see what's coming in here. So let's do, and you can choose to view this through business partnership too. I'm just gonna give a vibe on where every zodiac sign is at with you this week, right? These are weekly readings, so take it with a grain of salt. Here we go. If you're dealing with another Scorpio, what's the vibe there? Interesting. They may be coming into your long-term house of partnership. You have 6 of Swords again. So, again, forward momentum and movement. It can mean an ending, but it would be a positive ending that brings you some sort of mental rest or peace of mind. So others of you, it could just be that you're connecting with one, and it's going to bring you peace of mind. If you're dealing with a Sag, all right, whatever. I'm going to shuffle this one more time and cut the deck because I can't deal with the whole... I hate when cards don't come out. I'm impatient. All right, here we go. If you are dealing with a Sagittarius, they're interested. They're chatting with you. They have sex on the brain. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, there's a little bit of confusion right now. There's a lot of moving pieces and puzzles. If you are dealing with an Aquarius, they're focusing on their own health right now, especially if they work in the medical field or science, technology, something like that. They're very focused on their work right now, and I would say they have some patience in terms of getting a relationship together and off the ground, but I wouldn't say you're the main focus, but there's nothing wrong here. There's no bad vibes. It's just kind of, they're busy. They have their hands busy. There may be a Sagittarius factoring into this if you have options or they do. If you're dealing with a Pisces, King of Pentacles, love it. Probably going to be getting an offer and I would even say a warm reception. I don't know, something about he looks like he's cuddling. You guys may end up cuddling soon if you haven't already. If you're dealing with an Aries, there's a stitch work I'm hearing. You guys need to piece it back together. You need to heal something that was broken, but you have all the tools, the equipment, the whatever to fix this. Something about that seemed very like, what is that term? Makeup sex. That's totally what I'm getting here, if that makes sense to anyone out there. You're like, oh, I thought that was my coworker. Maybe it is. If you're dealing with a Taurus, the star. Yeah, hopes and dreams and wishes coming true. Especially if there's a Taurus who you're looking to marry, that you guys may be heading into that chapter. If you are dealing with a Gemini, a new offer being made. It takes a little bit of inspection. You might be trying to like understand it from different angles, which is smart with a Gemini because Gemini has many angles. But yeah, I don't know. This could actually lead into something much bigger. You have Ace of Pentacles that could potentially lead to Ten of Pentacles. So again, futuristic thinking, that could be something that takes off later down the line. Especially with the North Node in Gemini, that feels like destiny. Destiny. Something about this person may make the history books, whether you choose to be with them long term or not. This could potentially have this could be a connection that has a real staying power in your life. If you're dealing with a Cancer, Knight of Potions, yeah, they're dreaming about you. They're fantasizing about you. There's warmth and love for you. But there's something about you that they may find fickle, or you may be giving them mixed signals. They're a little bit like afraid to approach you, but it might just be that they don't want to be vulnerable. If you were dealing with a Leo, Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles is typically my single ladies card. So it could just indicate, yeah, they're single and looking. It could also indicate that they're very happy being single, but I will say they have a lot to offer in relationships. And this is going to sound super judgmental. I don't mean for it to be. They also come with a little bit of baggage. So that's not your problem per se, and it's not to dissuade you from dating them, but this person definitely has a part of their life they like to keep hidden. If they were to do the soul work and sort of heal that part of them and unpack that baggage, they would have a much higher success rate in this relationship. So if you are dealing with a Virgo, you know what? I do like this. The Lovers. I think this is cute. Yeah, I do like this version of the Lovers. And then if you are dealing with a Libra, the High Priestess, they may have secret lovers. They may have a lot of lovers. They may have a lot of just, if it's not, and it's not necessarily cheating, but they may have a lot of options. They love the attention, but yeah, they're not telling you everything. Give me one more in the Libra. Yeah, they have a decision to make. Two of Swords. This could start off very fun and buoyant. However, with the High Priestess and the Two of Swords, there's a defensiveness or a secret or something that is off limits. Like we're not allowed to talk about that. You're only going to get so far, and then they're going to throw up the walls. And again, it could be because there's other options. I don't really know, but I love my Libras, but this week there's a little bit of a secret there, and it may even be that they have a Sagittarius or a Cancer in the running for their affection. So, all right, Scorpio Risings, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks for checking in this week, and I will see you next time, Scorpios. Bye. What's up, guys? This is a friendly reminder to submit your name if you are looking to throw in a submission to win a free tarot reading from me, the Intuitive Teacup. There will be 3 winners announced on May 9th, and in order to submit your entry, I am asking that you leave a comment on any video of your choice here on my channel. It has to be one of my videos, listing the 3 qualities you admire most about yourself, 3 qualities you find very likable or desirable, 3 things that you're proud of about yourself. So loyalty, trustworthy, creative, funny, compassionate, any of those things. It's up to you. Leave those 3 descriptor words, and next to it, I want you to include the hashtag Team Teacup. That's just simply to let me know that you're entering your name for the competition and not just leaving a random comment. So yeah, that is what you're being asked to do. One comment is one submission. You can submit as many times as you would like, aka leave as many comments as you want. They can be the same descriptors, different ones. That's entirely up to you. So there will be 3 winners. If you are a winner, I will comment on your comment as well as announce your name on my channel and my Instagram. From there, we will message privately and you will be allowed to submit one question you would like me to answer. And that's that. It's pretty easy, pretty basic. Of course, if you are not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. It really does help me. And I welcome you to join me over on Instagram because that was sort of the brainchild of this contest anyway. I reached 1,000 subs on Instagram, which is great. I love interacting with you guys there, and it allows me to do things here on YouTube that I can't. So welcome you to follow me over there or on Facebook. It's not necessary. It's not required to enter the competition, but you do need to submit to my YouTube channel or subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, that's about it. So I look forward to announcing the winner Sunday, May 9th. So make sure you enter before then.